Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Antilles, and this is my game of Kerbal Space Endeavour, episode 41. We are here, as you can see in the background, around Eve, or actually, we're going to be in just about a second. We will be in the sphere of influence of Gilly, the small little asteroid in a very high orbit around Eve. Gilly's a fairly easy planet to get to. It has very low gravity, so landing on it will not be an issue whatsoever. Actually, it will be more of a problem to stay on Gilly as you tend to float away. You actually need to thrust towards the planet at certain points that you actually land and do not bounce off. Or you actually just have to decelerate or get close to the planet at a very, 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 very low speed to land on it. Like 0.1 meters per second would be probably good. And even then, you would probably bounce off a little bit. But as you can see, we are drawing closer and closer towards the planet, and it's time for some science. So let's go ahead and start doing some science here. Let's get a crew report. High in orbit. It looks like a particularly lumpy rock. You bet you could... What? You could... What? You could jetpack down there. Okay. But we cannot transmit anything because this is too far away. Alright. What do we have here? The start orbital experiments. The small moon is very small and produces very little science data from space. Well, I wouldn't call that science data little, but okay. What else can we do? We can log imaging data. And the thermal scans of Gilly reveal nothing but a cold, dead rock. Well, one thing is we didn't have a connection, so what I did is I had my little antenna right here that we activated, and I just pointed it towards Eve so it would connect to any satellite there which is targeted towards an active vessel, and that allowed me to just transmit some data. Now, initially I wanted to read all of the science that I gathered from Gilly to you guys, but since I'm still back on a very, very old version 25 point something, and most of these are not really that interesting, so I just went ahead and skipped them. I am sorry if you are disappointed by that, but we're just gonna go jump ahead here. And I landed on Gilly with no problem whatsoever. I used a little bit of RCS to thrust myself towards the planet, so we actually landed. And then I just started collecting more and more science. Now there's only 3 biomes on Gilly, which are the lowlands, midlands, and highlands, and getting to them was really easy. As you can see, we have a lift off with very, very little thrust. Then we just kind of float towards the next area, and I used my flight engineer to assess the information that I needed. So as soon as I saw that I'm over the biome of the lowlands, I slowed myself down and floated back towards the planetoid. Gilly, we said Gilly, right? Right. Well, and yeah, once again we used some RCS to land, and then we collected more and more science. I did bring more than enough science base and materials base and mystery goo containers along, because there's only 3 biomes. I had to bring 3 each for the biomes on the surface and 2 for the orbits, high and low orbit. And I didn't need a science bay where I could refresh my science equipment. That's what I wanted to say. And in the end, as I was done, I just thrusted towards Eve, waited until I had my sphere of influence outside of Gilly, and then I was trying to look for my manned mission that we're supposed to meet up with. And we're just gonna go ahead and make ourselves a maneuver node for when we have to change our plane and finally get closer to Eve then again. But that will be in the future. The next thing that is happening is our atmospheric thing, from which you have seen the last episode and the teaser quite a while ago. And we also need a little bit of a course correction here. However, somehow things don't really tend to work as I want them to. Like, I plan my maneuvers and use my nav ball the correct way, but then just things tend to go weird and wrong, and I don't really know what's going on recently with my interplanetary transfers, but somehow they kind of frack up all the time. But yeah, in the end I just kind of did a weird maneuver, and as you can see, like, things are bouncing around weirdly. But yeah, let's continue on. A major thing that is happening this episode is we are going to Eve, and we have a lot of excessive fuel in our main drive stage, which I pump into the craft itself, which is going to the surface, and then we leave the extra fuel in orbit. Technically, I could fly somewhere with it or try refueling another craft later on if need be, but we're just gonna leave it here for the moment. Now, the more interesting part is, will this craft get safe and sound to the surface of Eve, or will it burn up in the atmosphere? Now, I tested it before, but, you know, tests are never really that, yeah. Let's just say it doesn't really always turn out the way you want it to, or that it has turned out in the past when you were testing it, but now it doesn't work anymore. But yeah, we have our two engines here. We are slowing ourselves down. And yeah, getting down to Eve actually takes quite a bit of time, and all of this is actually the times acceleration of 4, because with so many parts and the atmosphere and the wonderful beautification mod, my game tends to lag quite a bit. But as you can see, we are having some re-entry effects here, and we are starting to slow down and go towards the surface. Now, things don't always go as planned, and actually at one point, as you can see right here, I have things burning up, and I thought it was my flaps, but in the end I figured out it was actually not my flaps, it was just some struts that I put on. Well, on my final descent, when we finally left the re-entry effects behind us, I ditched our heat shields successfully. Yes, this was tested before, and haha, it worked. Yay! And we start turning on our atmospheric engines, our carbonite atmospheric engines, which are powered by carbonate that we are collecting out of the atmosphere. As you can see, we have, well, actually, let's just load the map earlier first. And as you can see, we're quite far away from our little lander, or buggy, which we're going to call it from now on. And so I go into a dive and turn myself around because I overshot my target by way too much. And now I have the problem that I need to fly there. And I wasn't able to select it via the map, so I had to go into the IVA view to select the Eve Ground Explorer Mark 1. I'm still gonna have to rename it at one point. Sorry that I haven't done it yet. It will come soon. And now that I've selected it, it is 735 kilometers away. Now, how long does it take to get from one place to another on Eve? A very long time. So I actually had to go into a landing because I needed to go to sleep, because the day was long, and yeah. But as you can see, the craft works as intended. It lands on Eve, it can take off on Eve, it can fly at Eve, and it doesn't blow up. The main problem and objective of this craft, though, will be, can it escape Eve? As I said, I've tested this craft over, I don't know, way too many times. This is version, I think I even named it the Mark 34 or something. Still don't have a name for it yet. You guys can give me one for it. And yeah, I tested it a lot of times, and only once I actually made it out of Eve. But we'll see, maybe it works a second time, hopefully. As you can see, in the atmosphere, it flies really well. I can, like, pitch up right away. I can just fly around, do a barrel roll, or a looping, or whatever, and it works. And I can even fly, as you can see right now, with just my 4 smaller engines on, and I actually gain fuel in the process while I'm flying. This thing is just freaking awesome. I love it. Let's just hope it doesn't disappoint me in future episodes. But yeah, I'm just gonna go time accelerate here a little bit to let you guys feel of how long this flight took. The flight took 2.5 hours with 2 times in-game time acceleration. Yes, it took that long. I actually used the time to read, watch a movie, and do a little bit of housework in the meanwhile. And this is just, what you see here is just a small cut of how long this actually took. And this is why I am going to ask you guys something pretty soon, and that is, well, actually, first we're going to discuss this. While flying over Eve and just flying straight, I was pretty close into crashing one of the mountains, and that was kind of dangerous, but yeah. In the end, we actually do get fairly close to the Eve Ground Explorer Mark 1, or are we going to call it the buggy? But yeah, as I was saying, it takes a really, really long time to get around Eve. As you guys have seen, I can do it. It is possible. It is no problem whatsoever to get one space to another. The buggy is even capable of driving in water, and it has the science bay on it, so I can refresh all of my scientific materials. And this is what I intended to do, so fly everywhere, gather all the information, fly back to the buggy, and then reset all of my experiments, and then fly off again. But honestly, this would take a really, 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 really long time, and I don't really want to do it. If you guys want me to, I think I could make myself do it, but I don't really want it, so I'm just gonna put it to a vote, and just if enough guys say, yeah, please show us all of the different biomes and what they all have to say about this spectacular little planet called Eve, then I'll do it, but unless you guys don't want to see it, I'm not gonna do it, so yeah. So, as we have landed downhill, I used the buggy to drive over. Also, time accelerated here because things just tend to take a really long time. And I have to stop using the word R and E and A and L, L and Y in this episode because I think you guys are tired of hearing it already. Yeah, what you're just going to see here is how I would be able to reset my experiments. So I had these pipe endpoints which I attached to the craft, and then I just linked them together, which turns them into one craft, and this is how I'm able to reset my experiments. Until you guys have told me if you want me or do not want me to fly to all of the different biomes of Eve, I'm going to leave these crafts here at this specific point. So you guys have a little bit of a chance to tell me yes or no. And then I'm just going to pick it up in the next episode and we'll just go from there. Once again, I'm just going to explain my reluctance to do it, but I can be pressured into doing it. Depends on you guys. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, there are quite a bunch of biomes, and yeah, no, I don't know. I really don't want to do it. Nah, don't make me. So yeah, Jebediah was successful. He made a superb landing. And yeah, we'll see what the Eve mission has in store for us in the future. But now it is time to move on to our next thing. As recommended by one of you guys, who is Sanger Minkin, We are renaming our station on Laythe, the Carl Sagan station. Thank you for the input, and yeah, your name was not only the only one who was put forth, but also the one I liked the most. Heh heh heh. Okay, so we're expanding our base, and I started building something. Now, because I have the monster crane pretty much right next to my base, the game tends to be a little bit slower because of all of these parts. So I thought, well, let's get this thing out of the way. And I tried to drive it off to about 2.5 kilometers. And then, as you can see, I tried to disassemble it, but it doesn't want to go. And it actually holds up the middle piece altogether. Kinda weird, but hey, yeah, just the way it is. But at least it's out of the way and won't trouble me any longer. Now, let's switch to the next thing. You remember a while ago we built this crane. If you've watched my modular colonization system tutorials, or you came here for the crane, you already know this design. And yeah, now we just had to drive this wonderful craft over to the Carl Sagan station. I really do like the name. And I can even low ride this, and it goes really fast. As you can see in the bottom left corner of the screen over the nav ball, we are fairly quickly on our feet. We even drive close by to a water, but yeah, in the end we actually make it to the base safe and sound. Now, construction time was on its way, but we haven't gone really fast yet, so I transferred my crew over to the workstation or workshop, and now our productivity has gone up and we are building things a lot faster. Now we hit the finalize button and things are weird. Now if you're wondering why this little thing here on the side is so off and kinda on its side, well, I don't know what happened. The hinge is just kind of weird and I can't really do anything about it, so I'll have to figure something out in the future. So yeah, the module that I built fell over, and now I have to fix that and then attach it to the base. All of this is time accelerated and fast forwarded because it was a long and tedious process. So, but thanks to the magnet that I've installed, I'm able to pick it up in any way that I want, place it down, and yeah, it's not fallen over anymore. Yay! But yeah, I have to kind of mess around here with all of the controls to get it to work the way I want it to. And if you're wondering why, there is music. I thought I implemented some music in this episode because there is going to be a lot of construction from now on, and I thought we're just gonna underline it with a little bit of music. So yeah, I had to get out and activate the expander tube and then go jump back in because there is no remote control on the little thing at the bottom, and somehow the docking ability of the magnet doesn't work. So I actually had to go and change things around here. This time around, when I changed the infernal robotics things, I actually used the proper means, so I had a lot more control over it, and it was a lot quicker. And now if you guys want to make some jokes about putting long expander tubes onto some docking ports, please do. We're on YouTube. We're not on some kind of holy forum. But yeah, trying to slam long things into things. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. Let's keep it child friendly as much as we can. I do remember that was quite some swearing a couple of episodes ago, but let's just continue on. Now, with the new module that I've installed here, which is a habitat on the side and a additional storage containment unit for life support, I actually ditched the top part that we brought along, which still had an SES module on it and a lot of other things. But yeah, let's just continue on. The next thing that I'm building here is, you've seen it before, is this small little launch pad, which we're going to attach to our base, because the other construction module doesn't really do as it's supposed to. And whoa! That almost fell over. So yeah, now that we have attached it, we can unfold it, and as you can see, when we are on a flat surface, this thing actually looks a lot better and should probably provide us with a much more stable launch area for future projects, whatever they might be. Now, moving on, our Gilly Explorer has the encounter that we've made earlier. Actually, not encounter, this is maneuver, my bad. And we just change our trajectory a little bit, get our orbit lined up with our target, and then we only have to slow ourselves down. I hope we're going in the right direction, but I'm pretty sure we're flying in the same... Yes, we are. We're flying in the same... where we have the same rotation. Wait, rotation? No. We're going No, we're going counterclockwise. Are we going counterclockwise? I think we're going counterclockwise. Yes, that's counterclockwise. Damn it, my brain! Why you're not working? So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get our hurry-ups down. Now, we actually have an encounter here. Ooh, nice. I won't be able to slow down anyway that fast, but hey, it would be nice nevertheless. New construction project back at the Carl Sagan station. In orbit, if you remember, we have a colony logistics hub, but here on the ground we do not. So I built one and failed horribly. It fell over. And I thought, well, insert random swear word to your liking. Yeah. So, I thought, well, we have our wonderful crane who saved us before, let's try and save us again. Problem is, though, the colony logistics hub is a lot taller than my crane. And I could have tried building a new crane, or I could have used a crane, which I disassembled not a while ago, but I never thought ahead and disassembled it. Yeah. So, next chapter is trying to pull it up. Well, it is a lot heavier than my crane, and even when I go into a wider base, it is still me that is flipping over, not the thing I want to flip. Okay, so this is not gonna work. And, yeah. I came up with another idea, and that is that we have on board a small little... Well, actually, let's try this one more time. Magnets are not my thing. Well, I have this expander tube down here, and I thought, well, maybe this would help me get it up. But it doesn't, because it is way too low at the bottom. And I tried it again, and it just doesn't really work. Okay, new plan. I have one of my good guys get out, and I attach the expand tube a little bit higher, hoping that now that if I expand it, it will actually go up. But once again, I do not succeed. So yeah, new plan, trying to move it even further and then trying expanding it again, but somehow this time it expands into the ground, and it doesn't go. Alright. New time, and oh, this time it rises a little bit and it sinks into the ground again. Yep, doesn't work as intended. So, next plan. I drive around and I lift it again, that maybe the thing gets unstuck out of the ground, and then maybe it will let itself be pushed up. There we go, we're gonna attach this, and we're going to lift it this time. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And, well, almost. Time for the crane again. Oh god. Yeah, this took a really, really long time. And I'm sorry I used the word again this episode. I do apologize. But as you can see, we actually make it this time, and we are straight. Now, I do have a problem. The expander tube is at the very top, and I can't connect it to the base. So, next problem arose: how the hell do I get the expander tube down? Because I can't get up there. So I thought, well, we have a crane, why not lift our Kerbal up? So we drive over, and hopefully this time around we actually get the expanded tube down. No, it's too far away. Okay. Now let's change. Maybe we can increase the height of the crane. Yes, we can. And we drive closer again, and I'm still not able to get it. Okay. Maybe let's try with a little bit swinging here. And does it work? No, it doesn't. Frustrating. Okay, so I put the magnet back on. I thought, okay, the crane's not gonna work. I need a new plan. And new plan, here is the new plan. I've built something very, very small, which doesn't take a lot of time. And what I've built is 4 little ladders. Now, you guys can just pretty much watch what I'm going to do with the ladders here, because it is self-explanatory. I do want to talk about a few other things, and that is the upcoming weeks and everything else. Now, next weekend is Easter. Now, I do not celebrate Easter, but my country does. It's Easter Monday is a national holiday, and therefore I will spend my weekend with my family, and I will not be home. So, next weekend there will be no episode. Once again, we are going to have a break for another week. What I will be able to do is maybe this week start uploading Homeworld 2. I've already recorded some of the episodes, I just haven't gotten around to cutting them together into neat little packages. And also what I would like to ask of you guys is how much you would like to see of different things. Now, fairly soon we are going to have the PC release of GTA 5, which I really going to look forward to. Once again, I used the wrong word again. God damn it, what's wrong with me today? And I can stream it, or I can turn it into a YouTube Let's Play again. If you guys want to watch it, let me know. If you are not interested and you're just here for Kerbal Space Program, that's fine. Just let me know so I can get a feel around. Because GTA is probably going to deduct quite a bit of time away from my Kerbal Space Program. And if I'm going to turn it into videos as well, it's even going to take more time. So it's a little bit up to you guys. Whatever you really feel like, and most of all what I feel like when the time comes. But I do like to hear your guys' feedback of what you think and what you want. Also, if there are different games you would like to have videos on, and if you would actually like to see things more live or more storytelling, all of these things interest me, and I would like you to comment on them. But we'll see each other in 2 weeks again. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Antilles. Until next time.